Myself, Dr. Hanuman Prasad. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, IARE, which is located at Dundigal. Today, I am going to discuss a topic from Module 5 titled Gender and Culture. And the name of the topic is Gender and Electronic Media. And the contents that I am going to discuss in this topic are Introduction, Conventional versus Alternate Media, Gender Bias in Media, Gender Stereotypes, Traditional Gender Stereotypes, Gender in Media, and finally References. Let's look at each and every content in detail. The first content is Introduction. So, what does gender and electronic media refer? So, gender and media refers to the relationship between media and gender and how representations of the different genders are created by the mass media. Okay? So, that is what the gender and electronic media represents and gives information. So, it is the relationship between media and gender and how representations of the different genders are created by the mass media. Okay. Now let's look at the next content. Conventional versus alternate media. So if you see carefully, there are two types of media. One is conventional or mainstream media and the second one is alternative media. So what does conventional media deal with? Or mainstream media deals with? It deals with the commercial projects that advocate the interests of rich people, political persons, etc. Means those who have very good position in the society. So their interests, their issues only the mainstream media or conventional media deals with. Whereas alternative media is opposite to conventional media. Okay, that is why if you see the image, conventional media arrow is down and the alternative media is up. Means it will cover the poor people also. It will cover the political and ethnic minorities. Means those who doesn't have any political influence or those who have only little political influence. And it also deals with labor groups and it also deals with LGBT identities. What is LGBT? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. So generally mainstream media doesn't care with them. Okay. But alternative media cares with these kind of people and it also reflects their ideology and their problems, their issues to the society. So alternative media is better than conventional media. One can say that without any ambiguity. Okay. So that are the types of electronic media or mass media. And now let's look at the next content. Gender bias in media. So many magazines have sexualized images on their cover page. Okay. So if you see the cover page which is given in the image, so women in sexualized image. So that people will get interest to read that magazine. So that is the strategy of media to publish the magazines with the cover page. Okay. So these days media try to attract its audience with the images of women with little clothing, sexual expression, body language and gestures, etc. Okay. So that audience gets attraction. Okay. And media are teaching people as well as children that these things are what is important instead of actual important things that are going on in the world. So instead of teaching very most important things that are going in the world, so they are teaching these kind of unwanted or unnecessary. So it is one kind of wrong message. So that is why mainstream media is not preferable. Always alternative media is preferable. Okay. So that is the gender bias in media. Now let's look at the next content. Gender stereotypes. Gender stereotyping is defined as overgeneralization of characteristics, differences and attributes of certain group based on their gender. Okay, so based on the gender, what are the characteristics, what are the differences, what are the attributes of the certain group? So this is coming under gender stereotyping. Okay, and stereotype reflects how we assume different members of different groups actually behave. So individual groups behave in a individual manner. So different members of different groups behave in a different manner. So that is what is stereotype. And gender stereotypes create a widely accepted judgment or bias about certain characteristics or traits that apply to each gender. Okay? And gender stereotypes create a glass ceiling for many who generally do not fall into the broad categories of stereotyping. Okay? Means gender stereotypes create one kind of ceiling, one kind of separation for many who generally do not fall into the broad categories of stereotyping. You understand? And when gender inequality occurs on the background of gender stereotyping, it is called sexism. So when there is gender inequality means absence of gender sensitization, then only the sexism concept arises, means exposing women in a short clothing and all. If there is a gender equality, means gender sensitization, there will be no such issue because both are equally important. So that is why achieving gender sensitization is very, very crucial and essential in our society. Okay, so almost it is achieved to, we can say 70% extent, but yet to be achieved remaining 30%. Okay, hope that will be achieved within coming years. Okay, and let's look at the next content. Traditional gender stereotypes. What are the traditional gender stereotypes? So we know that there are two main gender stereotypes, feminine and masculine. Feminine regards female and masculine regards male. Feminine also regards women, masculine also regards men. Okay, you know that feminine and masculine are sexual words and male and female are gender terminology. Okay, and feminine is not aggressive whereas masculine is aggressive. Feminine is dependent whereas masculine is independent. Feminine is easily influenced whereas masculine not easily influenced. Feminine is submissive whereas masculine is dominant. Submissive means they easily follow the orders of the authorities. But masculine is generally they will take their own decisions. They will think over the authority decisions and they will modify if it is not up to the mark. But feminine will just follow the orders. So that is what is submissive, whether it is right or wrong. Okay. So bull type, simply obeying the owner orders. And feminine is passive, whereas masculine is active. Feminine is home oriented, whereas masculine is worldly. So they will roam everywhere and they will get awareness about the society throughout the world. Feminine easily hurt emotionally, whereas masculine not easily hurt emotionally. Feminine is indecisive, means they won't take their own decisions, whereas masculine is decisive. They can take their own decisions. Feminine is talkative, means they will talk much, whereas masculine is not at all talkative. They will talk only what is necessary. But nowadays the strategy is reversed. So feminine are talking what is required, but masculine is talking much. And feminine is gentle, means soft, whereas masculine is tough, means hard. Feminine is sensitive to others' feelings, whereas masculine is less sensitive to others' feelings. Feminine is very desirous of security, means they require more security, whereas masculine not very desirous of security, means they require less security. Because as I discussed, they are masculine, they have their muscles, they can fight with others easily, but feminine cannot. And feminine cries a lot because they are sensitive, whereas masculine rarely cries in a very hard situation. Okay, feminine is emotional, whereas masculine is logical. So one is emotional, one is logical. Emotion doesn't follow logic. Okay. Feminine is verbal, they will just tell orally, whereas masculine is analytical, they will show what to do, how to do. And feminine is kind, whereas masculine is cruel, little bit cruel, not very cruel. Feminine is tactful, means delicate, whereas masculine is blunt, means they will do very hardly anything. Feminine is nurturing, means very caring type, whereas masculine is not nurturing, not too much caring type. Okay. So I hope you understood the traditional gender stereotypes. Now let's look at the next content. Gender in media. Let's see. Men and women are constantly being sexualized on different forms of media. Example, bike ads, perfume ads, etc. Okay. Objectification of women and at times assuming multitasking and unrealistic expectations are normal. Example, MTR food ads means Mavalli tiffin room ads, which is established in Bangalore. Move ads, Airtel ads, etc. Okay. And knowledge about gender in communication is important because we are surrounded by media. So they are giving blue and pink clothes depending on the media people or non-media people. And one must gain understanding, knowledge, and having our eyes open to what media is exposing us to, which will help us to be able to dismiss and make our own decisions and choices regarding gender selection. Okay. So that is the roles of gender in media. And in continuation, commodification is the selling of cultural, sexual, or gender difference in a way that supports institutionalized discrimination. Okay. So nowadays, media is doing commodification, means they are making the process of making the commodity. Okay, everything. If somebody is having some problem, they are making it commodification. If somebody is having some difficulty, they are making it commodification. If somebody is very happy, then also they are making it commodification for their benefit, for their TRP ratings, etc., etc. Okay. This doesn't tend to happen to men as much. When men appear in ads, they are centered and in a strong pose, while women generally appear seductive and lower than the men. So that is the situation of gender in media. Men are centered and in a strong pose, whereas women are in a seductive pose or lower than the men. Women are not decision makers or choose policies such as pension policies, financial ads, etc. Means low level ads. In the olden days, but nowadays women are also dealing with equally with men. So in this situation, in this occasion, we can say in that particular thing, gender sensitization is achieved. Not to 100%, we can say to 80%. Because all women are not same. Some are sensitive, some are less sensitive. Okay. In most cases, women or females are simply victims and not their own voices. So in most of the cases, female will become the victims. In the olden days, but nowadays, they are not the victims. Male are the victims. So in many cases, means I'm just saying like that. But in the gender sensitization world, nowadays both are giving equal priority. Sometimes women are giving some more priority. Okay. So in continuation, so media is reducing women to their body parts. Means for the attraction of the magazines or the news to the audience, they are making the short clothes or they are exposing the body parts of women so that their TRP ratings will increase. But that is not correct. So alternative media won't do such kind of things. And camera angles make men look dominant and women submissive. You understand now? Camera angles make men look dominant Whereas men submissive. Submissive means just they follow the orders of higher authorities, whether it is right or wrong. Okay. And even mainstream Bollywood looks at women as underachievers. Bollywood are in high position, right? Even though they look underachievers, they look at women as underachievers. And most blockbusters make women support the central male characters. Means whatever may be the blockbuster position of women, they make them to help or to support the central male characters. Means central male character means main male characters. Okay. So even print largely covers star women leaders like Mamata Banerjee, Sonia Gandhi, Mary Kom, etc., etc., and deviate from real women on the ground. Okay, mainstream media especially focuses on the main star women leaders. They rarely covers women. If they cover star women leaders, not the real women on the ground. Means those who are really fighting uh, for their problems to overcome in the society. Okay. So, but alternative media does that. Okay. And I'm showing here, women are much more capable than men. You believe me. So we have to believe this. Because women are doing many things. They are cleaning, they are taking care of the hens, they are taking care of the many weaving things, they are taking care of their family members, they are feeding their family members. At the same time, they are feeding cattle, they are feeding whatever they have in their herbs, whatever they have, some cattle like things in their backyards. So they will feed them, and they will give food to the beggars. So they will make the logs for uh, putting into the oven for making the food and all. So they are doing many things simultaneously. So by the situation of this, by watching these kind of scenarios, one can emphasize that women are much more capable than men. But the thing is, they are getting underestimated. They are suppressing them. Men are suppressing women, especially in the olden days. But nowadays, they have well aware. They are well aware, and they have good awareness because they are also going to higher studies, and they are understanding what their rights are and what they are doing. So they are also becoming smart. They are also diplomatic. Okay. So this is to show that women are much more capable than men. Okay. And one more image. So if you see this image, there is a leaf which is having red color with a central fold. But how the people sees it? People will see it like a lip with a lipstick. Lip with lipstick. Is it so? No, it is not at all lip with lipstick. It is a leaf having the red color and which is fallen down on the road. Okay. So that is why the conclusion is one needs to change oneself, how to see a thing. Okay. Don't misunderstand at a first look. So don't expose negatively at a first look. You have to analyze, then only you have to make it advertised. So, but media doesn't do that. Media will simply look at first glare and then it will expose whatever it wants. So that is why this is the relation between gender and mass media, or gender and electronic media. So never directly believe the media. So always we have to self-analyze whatever the media is exhibiting the point in front of you. Should not directly believe. You should always take a look and you should always analyze it whether it is correct or not, and if it is correct, to how much extent it is correct. If it is wrong, whether it is really wrong, or if there is any little bit 1% or 5% reality in it, then you have to look for it. What is the ground reality that is going on behind the media? So you have to understand all these things. You have to be well matured enough to understand what media is exposing in our society regarding the gender. Okay, then only we can achieve gender sensitization to 100%. So one should have enough and proper education to understand all these things in a matured way. Okay, so I hope you all understood. And the references I followed are Gender Studies by Kadambari and Gender Sensitization by Rajalakshmi Kalyani, and one book, Gender and the Media, which is edited by Caitlin Mendes, and the title of the book is Critical Concepts in Media and Cultural Studies. Okay, so you can also go through these references, and if you have any doubt, you can text in the comment. Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention, and all the very best.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.